Tonight's guest tonight is one of the greatest basketball players ever, scoring over 44,000 points in his career while winning 6 championships and 6 MVP awards. Here's a look at him in the prime of his career. Very cool. From Game of Death, of course, Bruce Lee. Please welcome Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, we threw that in there because I've always loved that scene. You shot that movie Game of Death with Bruce Lee. We were talking about it just before the show. Yeah. You shot that scene. It was actually not nearly as long as it ended up in the movie. Is that right? Didn't they use a double at some point, or no?
They used a double, but not for the scene with me.
Right.
Everything that I did with Bruce was in the final movie.
Right.
And he did one other fight with Danny Nosanto, and that was in the movie. But other than that, they shot the rest of the movie with someone else playing Bruce's part.
My favorite thing is when you kick him in the chest and you leave a footprint on his chest. It's his entire chest. It's amazing.
Well, that was my entire foot. So.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny because I was thinking today. All right, now how did this man affect my life? And I know when I was a kid playing basketball very badly with my brothers, we were always all trying to do the sky hook because that was the most amazing move of all time. It was indefensible. You couldn't do anything about it. When Kareem did the sky hook, it was impossible. And of course, I never mastered it and was forced into comedy. But
I thought that the sky hook was outlawed up there in Massachusetts, where you're from, because of those guys that wear the green uniforms up there.
We just hit people. Yeah, that's what we do. All right, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get nasty about the Celtics, who've had some rough luck in the last couple of years. I guess it's been 10 years. It's a little unbelievable to me that you've been retired for 10 years now. 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you ever, when you watch the game now, which I assume you do sometimes, do you ever think what it would be like if you came back right now? Could you play the game right now?
I probably could. I'd get up and down the court about 3 times and then collapse over dead.
They could have a cot on the sidelines, maybe.
50-year-olds are in a position where their bodies cannot cash the checks that their mind writes.
Right.
So
right.
You just end up in the hospital on oxygen or something like that.
Right. Wouldn't look good. Yeah, it's better this way.
My kids would get upset, too.
To be like, Dad, please. Don't. It's embarrassing us.
Right.
Let's talk about this book, because it's a fascinating idea. You, I guess for a year, were the assistant coach?
Right, for a season, yeah.
For a season, you were the assistant coach for a Native American high school basketball team.
Yeah, it's Alchese High School in White River, Arizona.
And how much did you get paid for the season?
$1.
$1. Yeah. I have to talk to your manager. But it was a very nice thing that you did, and you did this. You were the assistant coach, which I think would be kind of hard, because didn't you ever just want to tell the coach, okay, I have a better idea? Or I think
right. There were times when I wanted to gag him and lock him in a closet, but it was his job, and he'd been doing it a long time, and I had to defer to that.
Right. And you say in the book, which I thought was interesting, that Native Americans centuries ago played a version of basketball. Is that right?
The modern game was adapted from a game that they played in Central America. There are courts down in Chichen Itza and Tikal in the Yucatan Peninsula, where they have the ball courts down there. You can go.
And they're hundreds of years old?
Yeah, thousands. Yeah, thousands of years old.
Now, how was the game different back then?
Well, you couldn't touch the ball with your hands. It was a small rubber ball. You couldn't touch it with your hands, so they used their elbows and shoulders and knees and stuff to try to knock it through the rings. And the rings were not parallel to the floor like today. They were perpendicular to the floor.
It actually sounds harder than the basketball we play today,
It's a lot harder, thank goodness, because if a goal was scored, one team lost, and the players on that team were subject to human sacrifice.
They should have this on pay-per-view.
Right, they should. I'd like to see college coaches recruit guys to play that game.
Yeah, you wouldn't need a big motivating speech halfway through the game. People would now, and what would the fans also suffered some kind of consequence,
Well,
didn't they?
The fans lost the money, whatever it was that they bet on the game.
Okay, we still got that today.
Yeah,
Right.
thing, just like Madison Square Garden in the '60s when I used to go.
Right. Now, when you went back, this was, in a way, this was your return to the game because, yeah, you're an assistant coach for some kids that are playing, but you're back in a locker room, a smelly locker room. What did that do for you? Did that take you back?
It sure did, and it made me remember a place and time where I had a lot of fun and got a lot of things done.
The sweet smell of sweaty socks brought you back.
Not necessarily sweet, but sweet memories.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I'm curious, I'm not going to get into too many specifics about the game today, but this is newsworthy. A couple of days ago, you know, or I think it was Dennis Rodman said that he's going to come back, or he's back now, and he's playing for Dallas. Would you have liked to have played with Dennis Rodman?
No. And,
do you want to take more time to think about it?
I played against Dennis my last 2 seasons when he was with the Detroit Pistons, and he was another player. He was another guy on the team. He was not a controversial figure at all.
He just played the game.
He played the game, and you know, was part of the team.
So what do you think happened? Because he had a complete personality change.
What happened to him?
Yeah.
Madonna.
That's enough. Well, you know what? I neglected to hold the book up in front. I want to do it now because this is a very cool thing that you've done, and people should go out and they should check this book out. It's called A Season on the Reservation. It's by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem, thank you very much. Very cool to have you on the show.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for doing it. We'll take a break when we come back. Asleep at the wheel. Just stick around. That is our show. I do want to thank all my guests. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, very great to have you on the show. Thank you. Best of luck. The book is A Season on the Reservation. Check it out. Our thanks to Jared Miller for being here and almost getting us all killed. Our thanks to Asleep at the Wheel for performing. Of course, Mr. Andy Richter, Max Weinberg, and the Max Weinberg 7. Stay tuned for later, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.